Good morning from Burlington, Vermont. We're heading south today, out of Burlington on Highway 7, through the fields and the farms and the mountains, all the way over to a town called Lincoln, New Hampshire. But of course, you don't just leave Burlington. First, we had to stop and see something that you can't see anywhere else, only in Burlington. Right ahead, this little thin tower, the world's tallest file cabinet. Just sort of sitting on the corner in this parking lot of whatever building this is. But you see, the world's tallest file cabinet is actually several filing cabinets stuck together. Sort of a wry comment on government bureaucracy. And I guess people come from all over to put their stickers on it and stuff. Still don't have me a T1D Wanderer sticker. With the creative weirdness of Burlington out of the way, we headed out of town to finally begin the drive through some especially lovely rural scenery, and looking for that vital road trip feature that's often elusive in this part of New England. Well, it's 12:30 and we are barely outside Burlington. We're now finally actually heading east. Still looking for a place to eat. We got some picnic stuff at the supermarket this morning. We passed through Heinsberg, where in 2008 the Saputo cheese factory burned down. The company's owners in Canada opted not to reopen it, and employment in Heinsberg took a big hit. The town seems like it's bounced back since then. Well, today has been excellent driving through the fields and through the farms and a little bit of hilly, sort of almost mountainous areas. It's a perfect day for weather and the sunshine and like really interesting clouds and stuff. We're going through cute little towns sometimes, and we see horses and any other animals today? Squirrels. It's about 1 o'clock now. I don't even know what town we're in. Well, I don't have cell service here. I can't figure out where we are. It might be in a place called Huntington. And we just turned down this little dirt road and found this park. It's like soccer park with a basketball court, and way at the back here, this little collection of 3 tables, and I guess it's public. No one else is here. We're just gonna eat until someone kicks us out. All right, that was a great lunch, and we're continuing on the road. And we're getting higher up in the mountains, and the trees are more red and yellow here. As Vermont Highway 17 took us from Addison County into Chittenden and Washington counties, the rolling fields gave way to more dramatic landscapes. These are the Green Mountains, which gave Vermont its nickname, the Green Mountain State, and its actual name. Vermont is Green Mountain in French. The views got more and more inspiring as we continued slowly up the winding slopes, although the car wasn't enjoying it as much. Well, as we're getting way higher in the mountains, the car is really struggling up these very steep curves. And as we get higher, a lot more vivid yellows and proper reds and purples in the trees. We just saw this great little pull out here, so we've pulled over like everybody else and got a great look at the views. And Maseo, who's been talking about apple cider for a few days, because we're up here and it's fall time, and look what she sees. What did you find?
Hot cider.
How much did you drink? Okay, I know what you're thinking. Did we or didn't we? Well, of course we did. Pulled over for a cider break. Ooh, that's sweet. The couple there was selling cider. The guy showed us the little cider press machine thing he'd made himself. Then he showed us how it works. Put an apple and he mashed it down and it squoze out all of the juice into, we guess this cup holds about, how many? 8 or 10 apples? It's just apple juice. There's nothing else added. It's fresh off trees around here. No preservatives or anything. It lasts about a week if you make it, then it starts turning into vinegar, but it's sweet and it's very fresh and very appley. It's so New England, it's almost too New England. It's amazing. One thing that struck me about central Vermont is how many of the grand, old-looking wooden buildings along the highway were just as attractive in their own different way as the natural beauty of the surrounding landscape. Our route took us to the city of Montpelier, but only around the quirky outskirts of it. We had to settle for a distant view of Vermont's capital city on our way along the rather grim and weather-beaten US Highway 2 towards Marshfield. Welcome to the town of Marshfield, Vermont. And we're going to pull over for a cool thing here. It is a covered bridge called the Martin Covered Bridge. We have to walk down this really muddy path. So I'm excited. Are you excited? Masio has brand new shoes she just bought from Walmart a couple days ago. They only cost $12, so they're trip shoes, but still it's a shame to get them muddy so fast. In a recent video, there were lots and lots of bridges. Today is not really a bridge-themed trip per se, but if you see a good bridge, you got to pull over and see it. So hay bales to sit on, bench to sit on. Sit on the bench and watch the hay, or sit on the hay and watch the bench. So the bridge was built in 1890, and part of it had started to rot and stuff. So in 2009, they started rebuilding it. The guiding principles being use as much of the original wood as possible and make sure the structural integrity is still okay. In some cases, the ends of beams had rotted away, and so they tried to get like local timber and fit it in using traditional joining methods. So it's very, very lovingly restored, very well done, and the bridge is here for more generations. Imagine canoeing down this stream. You go under that bridge, and you go, cool, and you keep going. On your way to Montpelier, I guess. We were enjoying the scenery of US 2, especially Joe's Pond, but unfortunately found out that we'd missed a turn. We decided to turn it into a little roadside party. All right, two things. We have missed a turn about 8 miles back. I think I got another way to get there, maybe. And some cool little covered footbridge thing here. We stopped just because. Joe's Pond Memorial Bridge, 1977, erected in honor of all those, past and present, who have contributed to the spirit of this community. This community, by the way, is called East Danville, Vermont. And this is the East Danville Covered Footbridge. All 20 feet of it or so. Nice, huh? Stop, bridge, width 44 inches. Oh, that part. Junction ahead. Another excellent New England stream. So you see, we came in here. This is about where we saw the other covered bridge. Right after that, we're supposed to turn off there to 232 and then catch 302 down here. We didn't, so now we're here in West Danville. And we can go all the way over here to 5 and go down. We can go back and get 232. I think we're going to try this road here that goes to Peacham.
Yeah.
I don't know how big that road is. It looks pretty small on this map. So if it's not a gravel road or something, we'll try that.
Okay.
And then we're almost in New Hampshire. The road to Peacham, thankfully, turned out to be a normal paved road, but when I pulled over briefly, that's when a local intervened, and the drive got rougher. I pulled over here in Peacham, in a little gravel parking lot at a country store to adjust something on my camera, and a guy came over and said, "Are you looking for directions?" I said, "Not really, we're just driving." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what you want to do."
You want to see something, and most people don't. When you get down here a little ways, there's a little bit of a fork. The Bailey Hazen Road goes off to the left. Drive down that road carefully, and you go by the old Elkins Tavern, a beautiful barn, and then you'll get down to a struggling dairy farm, and then you get back on the paved road.
We're checking it out. Northern Skies Observatory. There's an observatory over there. All right, we continue forward. I hope this joins back in with the road, like you said, because this would be tough going back uphill on this with this car. What did he say? We see like an old barn and go past like a struggling dairy farm?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
cows just on the road. See you. Thanks. Yep. Well, that was fun.
yes.
I'm glad that guy came up and explained that to us. Eventually, we made it back to US Highway 302, joining back up with our original plan after the unusual detour. All right, we did it. We just passed into New Hampshire over a really cool bridge over the Connecticut River. It's 5:30 p.m. and we just crossed into New Hampshire. I thought we would have been at the hotel by now, but we still got to drive through part of this state. It's not very big up here because we're still in the narrow northern part, but you know, we are not making great time today. We're not complaining, we're just not making great time. The day was getting long, but on a drive like this, when something tells you to stop, you stop. There's a cool little bridge here that goes across the river down this little falls thing out to some little hut, but it's closed. No trespassing, says the old-timey sign. The Woodsville Water Supply, 1929. Be careful. Don't fall into that cold, violent water, but wow. And we have not seen any moose at all, but we just saw, like a couple miles back, saw a sign that said moose crossing next 3 miles. And every time that happens, again, we keep grabbing our cameras and watching. And I can just see them. I can just see moose here in my mind, right there on the shore. on those rocks, drinking some water, but they're not there. They must be all around, just not on the road where we can see them. Oh well. Okay, we'll see a bunch of turkeys, a whole bunch of turkeys. It's just that I think it's cool to see a bunch of turkeys. So I jumped out of the car. Maybe it doesn't mean anything to you, but trust me, it seemed interesting here. Kinda. They were already going into the woods and it's dark. Now, I'd chosen Lincoln purely because of its location on the map, and I didn't know anything about it. So the overt touristiness of the downtown section was a surprise, but our little motel was a few miles to the north of all this. Okay, we made it. It's, what time is it? 6:30, 6:29, not bad timing. We're here at the Mount Coolidge Hotel, Mount Coolidge Motel in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Another great drive through new parts of Vermont and New Hampshire. So thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time. Go to Patreon to see the full story of today's drive, including all the side trips, details, and experiences from all the highways of central Vermont and New Hampshire. Patreon support helps keep this channel alive, so I can bring you videos from fascinating and lesser-known destinations like this. Right on. Special thanks this week to the magnificent Calvin Ferreira, Darcy Otranto, David Richley, Lever Wong, Matt Kane, Michael Fedor, Nathaniel Holland, Ray Nichols, Samantha, Will Phillips, and your name here. Also thanks to subscribers to my free weekly newsletter. Links are in the video description. Thanks for wandering around with me. Everywhere is worth exploring.